Yes, let's talk about how to distribute built-in parts in BIM projects. And first of all, I'd like to demonstrate that how you have to do that manually. See a small building made with solid walls. We did the segmentation first. All the connections are done, and now we have to distribute some installation parts. You know how to do that in the normal Revit way. Choose your mounting parts. Let's say we need to have an anchor plate. Choose that, and so this one is a face-based, and you can distribute them, or you have to distribute them one by one, and afterwards you have to specify the length and the size where it should be positioned into the Revit model, and we have to do that for each panel. So what we like to do with our software, maybe I can demonstrate that on the windows first. We can specify some families. So there's one I called Idot extender, additional bars to opening to the windows, and let's choose another one even for the windows, and this should be let's choose for opening, should be an extender one, stirrups and plates around openings. So this is Idot extender technology, and when you press that, when you specify the parameters, you can choose Idot family to mount part, and this is a live demo, so that's why it will take a while to bring in all these installation parts, and we can see the result. Different exactly positions. There's a rebar predefinition as well, but that's not the topic of today. And the objects specified in these families. So we made that around the openings. There's another possibility to choose. Let's do that for the parts. We segment it here. It's the same process. Just go to the parameter and choose, and this one is called setup family. I like to do a setup family with grout tubes and meshes for all these objects, and we choose family to part. This will bring that predefined setup family to the objects, and what I like to introduce is the Idot extender technology and the Idot setup family. So this is working in the background. This will take a while because these are 22, yes, here we are, 22 panels. And what we can see is, because this is the topic of the day, we can see the grout tubes, you can see some specific anchors, corrugate they called, and the reinforcement. There's one more stuff we can do. You can choose for the bars, for example, but maybe you know that from the last webinar, we can create rebar based on these objects. So I will go into deep after I give you some examples how flexible the system is. This is a project where we have to do the segmentation, the splits for the wall. It's a specific facade element made with some steel constructions in the background to anchor that into the core. And you see for the openings, I specified a family, just the same process, family to mount part. And based on the size of the objects, window width, window height, a special family is created, like this one. So this is a steel frame. And we can do the same for parts. So let me give you an idea how the parts are made. Do that for these two. There's another family, and I did exactly the same like before. It's just family to mount part for openings, doors, and so on, and family to part when we do the segmentation. So you can do segmentation with IDAT command. There is a split command. See that on the upper right corner. This is IDAT menu bar called split, and this is the result, but it's not finished yet. So let's work that out a little bit. So this family in the background, we see that, is placed into an assembly. Maybe you know that process. And what we can do now is can go with Idot and explode that predefined family. So now we are able, let's do that for that one as well. Explode that family, and now you are able to work out, let me say, with multiple copy command, to work out your model, specify new objects, and let's do that for some more. So now you are free to bring them in, and we are back in the Revit process. So let's bring them exactly into the middle. Maybe you know the equal command, so it's always the same in Revit how to work that out. Go equal command, and objects are placed exactly in the middle of these two. So go equal. Here we are. So we worked that panel out, and now I like to bring all these objects into my assembly. You can do that manually if you want to. Just choose the objects. So maybe I have to beware because this one is in the background as well. And now we got the whole assembly from which we can do the shop drawings and the machine data if this panel should be made by machines for the production. This will take a while. Shop drawings can be predefined. It's not our topic, but to see how the process is working. In shop drawings, we got the labeling, the dimensioning, we got lists, and this can be predefined on your demands. Okay, just one more. Even the same process to see how flexible the system is. Let's change the size of the window to demonstrate that. Choose another type of object. Give another height, for example. Let's do 120. Okay, here we are. And choose the windows. Give the family. And go Idot. Family to mount part. To do the reinforcement, and if you want to, we can choose all the parts, reduce them in to the parts, and give a setup family called facade hangers and consoles to Idot family to part. This will take, because these are a lot of panels for the whole systems, but the result is very impressive. And doing that manually, it will take you at least half an hour, and we can do that with this predefined families in less than a minute. Here we are. So based on the size of the objects, a family is done in the background. And how this is made. So let me leave these files. No, I don't want to change that. Coming back to the first object, and first of all, I like to demonstrate the IDAT extender technology. What we are talking about is IDAT extender technology. Use predefined families to speed up your detailing process, and in next we will combine all these Revit extender families into a so-called setup family. This is what we do to the parts. So, but let's start with the IDAT extender family. It's just a common Revit family, a face-based family with some parameters where we check the width and the height and even the thickness of the wall. And all these objects, this is the anchor plate I placed down manually first, are specified into that family with specific rules like 100 mils from that edge up to 100 mils from here. And even, maybe you saw that in the three-dimension model, even the reinforcement stirrups, this is the profile of the reinforcement of the stirrup. This is the distribution axis. We can combine that, but today's topic is how to insert installation parts. So just an overview. Leave that. No, just an overview for that family. Maybe you remember it was a so-called setup family, and we will find these IDAT setup families into our project browser. It was the IDAT, let me see, setup grout tubes and mesh, that one. And I like to edit that. And here we can see an example for a wall that's placed in the background. It's just an extrusion, gives us the possibility to specify the sides of the extended families in the background. So what we did is we placed down an extender family on top of a side of an example, and this represents a part or a wall. And come back to the objects. So this is predefinition for reinforcement. Maybe I can delete that to demonstrate how this will work. And these are the face-based grout tubes positioned 500 mils from the edge and adjusted with parameters width and height. So let's save that down. File, save as family, and do that IDAT extender grout tube. So we'll leave that grout tube. Save that down. So maybe we can bring that back into our setup family. Here we are, and we can specify each face to position that, or what I would like to do is I like to change that now. Just called grout tube. Here we are. Doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter because we will adjust that later on. Here we are. Don't have to do that because this is the parametric of the extender family. Okay. So what I like to demonstrate back, I like to come back to the model and give you some more information. What we can do with mount parts, installation parts. So this wall, it's a basic wall, 200 mil solid wall, is predefined with a specific family. I call that C and U profiles. First of all, we have to do the segmentation with IDAT split. So I did a segmentation without any connections first because I like to demonstrate how easy it is to power up an extender family. And what we can do now is just run family to part. So this will take a while because there's a lot of information inside. Yeah, we have to be patient now. Let's see the result. Okay, here we are. So what I did in that family is to specify some line-based family. Maybe you know line-based families from Revit where you can specify a starting point and an ending point. And this is what we can do in these setup families. So I like to open that family to give you an idea. So see that extender family in which we got a U profile. So it's just a component. You can choose that U profile, specify a starting point, ending point in that family, and you can use that for distribute them into the model with a specific command called IDAT define mount part. So let's take a look to the result. How this is specified. So this object should be placed down along that distribution axis. Maybe you saw the webinars with the reinforcement. It's exactly the same procedure. So we can give a layout rule, give starting points, ending points, an offset, because we can adjust these line-based families in the length of the size of the object. And maybe that's interesting as well. What should we do on openings? So if we want to do that, we can cut all the line-based installation parts. So maybe you saw that in our IDAT command. There is another command for distributing installation parts called define mount parts along contour lines. And this is what I did here in that. Like to demonstrate how we can do that. We can, well, first of all, I like to specify that one on the bottom and the top of the part, of the wall part. So we see we can choose part contour, bring that onto bottom and top. And maybe I like to do another one, back to you, in the reference line, and choose another one to create similar and bring that into the family. It's a bit confusing because we don't specify that exactly in the same position, but we can't predefine openings in here. And go to IDAT, define mount parts, and now we like to arrange that around openings on all sides of the opening. Yeah, it's okay. So first of all, I like to bring that into my model back. Well, first of all, let's do that in the setup family. Do okay. Override that. Oh no, it was the wrong one, sorry. Setup C. So here we are. Once more, it's the extender family. Load that into the setup family, C profiles, not on the ground tubes. That was wrong. Override the existing one. So we got the new one. Bring that back into our model. Go OK. Override it as well. And override the sub family. So this one is back now. So let's choose all the parts and delete that and add some openings. There's still one part remaining. I like to delete that as well. Come back to the solid wall. Okay. So bring in some openings. Do different sizes, for example. Oh, no, it's a small one. I like to do that one. Okay. So the family is still specified on that object. Yes. And first of all, we have to do the split command first because we like to demonstrate that on the parts. Just choose them, go IDAT, and family to part. And let's see the result. So we will have all these C and U profiles, and we will have them around the opening. So what I expect is the C profiles, the vertical ones, are cutted from the openings, and there will be U profiles around the openings. So there are a lot of objects in the background, because what we do is we place down each object by itself, so you can handle each object. Close that down. Here we are. And what I mentioned is this objects can be handled by itself, and it's easy to use these IDAT extender or IDAT setup technology to specify your model. So now you're back in Revit and you can do adjust, copy, rotate, whatever you want to do. Okay. How to accelerate that process by yourself. So what I like to demonstrate is how flexible it is to use the IDAT extended families to come to a higher level of development for your model. And this is what we have to do in a BIM process. When we go to production, we have to specify each object, and that takes a lot of time. So there is no family in the background. What I like to do is to work out that family grout tube. Yes, here we are. This is my grout tube family, and load that back into grout tube and mesh. Yes, here we are. And this family should be extended by another family which I got from Pico for the wall connections. Maybe you know the Pico Sumo. I will open that, give you an idea. Open family. So, no, this was. And there's one called Pico Sumo. This is what I got from the Pico homepage. So there's some rebar systems, the objects themselves, and a void cuts out the object. So I brought that one in, a face-based family. So I'd like to open that. No, it was not content. It was in families, called that Pico Sumo. And you see, now you can see that, so just go to the hidden view. It's the same family made as a face-based family. And that face-based family, I like to bring in an extended family. And maybe I like to choose setup, grout tube, and mesh. Here we are. I like to use that extended family. Extender, corrugate. Edit the family. See how this is made. Okay. Now we have to come to the Pico Sumo family and load that into the extended corrugate family. So I would use that and give it another name. Here we are. First of all, I like to delete these ones and bring in the corrugate family. Just bring them in, place them on face. No, it's not corrugate. Sorry. It was generic model Pico. This is what I like to do. So place that face-based and bring that into my object. Well, you can specify that. You can move that around wherever you like to do the positioning, and with Revit commands you can specify them in the middle of the object, for example. So maybe we want to bring in some reference planes. Here we are. And so let's do that with 500 mils, for example, and close that one. So this will be always 500 mils in the background, and the same to this side. All live. So please give me the seconds to do that. Okay, here we are. Now I like to align my first object to the reference plane. And now we start with the array command of Revit. Do an array, specify the number of objects, and give a distribution rule. Let's start from, let's say from here, up to, and now up to here. We got 3 of them. And when I adjust or align the last one to my reference line, that's why I made the reference lines, it will follow up the perimeter. In this case, it's the width of the wall. But what I like to do with that Pico Sumo system is I like to bring that sidewise for the wall connections. So that's why I have to change what should be read out in that family. It's not the width, it's the height of the wall. Oh, now I gotta see. That's wrong. We have to be careful that we bring that in into our reference system. That's wrong as well. So first of all, I have to remove the old constraint and do the new one. So let's save that file, save as family, do that into our content option and call that Idot extender Sumo, for example. Here we are. Load that back into the extender family. So the old one called Idot setup grout tubes and mesh. We will save that with new name. Okay. And now we can place that family sidewise, move that a little around and bring that in. So this should be made like this. Go in different views. Okay, let's do that on the right. Maybe we can do can specify that in the middle. It's okay, that's fine. And when we take a look to the front, I like to all Revit stuff. I like to mirror that in the middle of the wall. So that looks good. Okay, and we'll save that as a new extender family. File, save as family, content, and set up grout tubes and Pico Sumo. So we have to do that once, and now we are finished. Save that down, bring that back into our model. Was that one? Okay. Override the existing one and see what we can do with that. So there's a basic wall. We can specify our setup family we made. Setup grout tubes and Pico Sumo. Do the segmentation, and we can do that for all the walls in the project. It's just a small example, but it's very, very powerful. And choose the objects, go Idot, family to part. So all the families are placed down like we expected. See the Pico, see the grout tubes, find the lifters. And that's easy. It's easy to do. You have to know how Revit is working in the background, but all of our Idot extender technology is based on standard Revit doing. So this is what I like to mention in our webinar to distribute mounting parts. Thank you for your attention. Hope you enjoy that. Stay healthy. Goodbye.